Hi and welcome to my new video. Today I will focus on JIT compilation, which stands for just-in-time compilation. What does it mean? It means that JVM sometimes can apply some very interesting runtime optimizations on top of the generated machine code. Meaning that, for example, if you have a method that is called very often and it's short enough, the JVM can decide to inline it directly in the generated machine code. And it's just one of the possible optimizations, but I think that's the one that will speak the most for Apache Spark SQL for the example I'm going to show you in this video. So let's go to the code. The code is very simple as usual. It's only here to demonstrate an idea. We have a data set of 101 rows that is repartitioned to 100 partitions. Later I'm creating a temporary view on top of it so that I can query it later in SQL, and in my final query I will generate different embedded if-else cases. Agree, it's not very production-like example, but it will help me to show you the places in the Apache Spark SQL code where the JIT compilation information is given to you. So it doesn't happen in Spark, of course, it's still the matter of the JVM, but Apache Spark, while analyzes your code, can give you some hints whether this JVM compilation will work or not, depending, of course, here on the size of your code. So just to recall another idea, Apache Spark has this physical state which is called whole stage code gen. It means that when you have some operations that can be made directly in the same task, so for example you have a mapping and a filter or even multiple filter expressions, Apache Spark can compact them to the single execution unit and hence to the single execution Java code that will generate and compile under the hood. So let me run the code. I added some breakpoints, and just for the sake of information, I'm generating 201 embedded if-else statements so that the code that Apache Spark will have to generate from this else statement, the Java code, will be too long for being compiled, and we are going to see the places where there are some warnings and the messages that you should look at in your logs if you want to find out maybe some performance bottlenecks or issues due to this disabled JIT compilation. So I'm going to run the code right now, and that's the first place, but it doesn't concern my query yet because I have a breakpoint here and it hasn't been reached. So and now we are going to see what happens for the show statement I have in this example. So let's deep dive into the console and the breakpoints. The first breakpoint is in this code generator method. As you can see, we called the, I don't recall the name anymore. It's let me check it out. Class, yes, it's Janino library. So Spark called this cook method to prepare the Java code, and later the framework Spark calls this update and get compilation stats, where you can see Spark tries to see the size of the class and of each method inside the class. So here you can see that this is the first method, which is very small because there is only 10 byte code size, 5, it's also small. And now we are going to our embedded if-else statement, because you can see already that the class is way much bigger than previously, and also it's much more bigger than the limit fixed in the code. And that's the moment where you will start seeing the generated method too long to be JIT compiled messages in your logs. But that's not all, because there is also another log that you will see in that case, and this one will come from whole stage code gen exec, and it will happen when this method, the size of the compiled code, is bigger than this huge method limit. So in that scenario, you will see that the whole stage code generation optimization won't be applied at all, and instead of preparing and running this combined Java code, Spark will simply call the execute method of this physical node of the plan, and very often this physical node will call the execute method of its child, and it will go down that way and call this execute method recursively, which means that this in this mode Spark will fall back into the Volcano model, which is another way of processing the data. And yes, that's the method, and that's the error because I called it, the call was too much recursive, but that's not the point of this video. So the point is that this performance, these messages can all lead to some performance issues because of this one method called at a time. And yeah, generally you should avoid the long methods, and if you are interested in more about JIT compilation and Apache Spark SQL, I invite you to the details that are included in the blog post linked in the description of this video. It was Bartosz Konieczny from waitingforcode.com. Thanks for watching.